What's going on, guys? Goes 4H Delta X-Ray Studios. So today I figured instead of messing around in Blender, we're gonna mess around in Unity a little bit. Yeah. All right. So anyway, this is what our kitchen is starting to look like in Unity. A few adjustments that I did have to make inside of Unity was the island here. I set the island at 3 foot inside of Blender. And the space right here that we're looking at was actually like 1.5 foot, and it was really small. So I ended up having to adjust, I think, to like 6 foot or something like that. And I got this nice little space. So when you guys import this into Unity, you will need to adjust this, adjust the island a little bit, move the chairs in the island a little bit. You could see here I did use a different backsplash. The backsplash I was originally using looked really bad. Like, I mean, even this one here doesn't even look the best. I mean, you can see as we get in closer, it looks a little bit better, but still, the resolution of the texture just isn't really that great. Kind of shitty, if you ask me. But it's all things that we'll have to work on in time. Right now, I was just trying to get this all put together for you, just so I could showcase this to you, to show you what it's one of the possibilities it could look like inside of Unity. Right now, our light right here is awfully bright. Let me go ahead. My mouse, I think the sensor on my mouse is starting to be a little jacked up, so it's I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, oh my god, come on, work with me here. Let me go ahead and delete these lights here, and we'll go ahead and jump into here, so we can kind of wow, I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but that looks really bad. But anyway, this is kind of what it's looking like. It ain't too bad. I'm trying to debate on if the textures look a little bit better since I've took out them extra couple lights. But it's just one way you can do this. You see, the glass here is a little bit too transparent. So, like I said, something we'll work on. I do have camera effects on. Right here, let's see, go to the camera. So inside the camera, there's no point in having fog on. Got the anti-aliasing. Whoa. Let me see what. It's like I turned fog off, and it's like, I don't know. I felt like it adjusted. Maybe it did. Maybe it just wasn't done rendering the image yet. Let me go into play mode here and see what this looks like. Oh, okay. So it's probably the outdoor lighting. So let me go ahead and seal this off real quick. Let's make sure the FPS is inside first, so we're not stuck. Like, not really stuck, but well, I guess we would be stuck outside, wouldn't we? So no, I didn't want game object there. That's a dumb thing. Like I said, my mouse is being really dumb. I honestly think my sensor for it is kind of crapping out a little bit. So let me go ahead and, is it the X? Okay, so we don't want X, we want Y. We want Y too, but let's go ahead and drag that all the way out. Let's go ahead and bring this all the way up just to simulate our wall here. Make sure we're pulled all the way in. Just hit play. It's going to obstruct our cabinet a little bit, not a big deal. Like I said, we are just trying to we're just trying to see what this is going to look like. And honestly, it really don't look too bad, being in Unity. We will strive for trying to get the more photorealism in towards the end of the video, like not the end of this video, but the end of the series. We'll try to get more photorealism in here and getting our, like you can see right here, our texturing doesn't look too bad there. Our backsplash does look a little shitty. Our you can even see like the geometry in our countertop there. But all little things that we'll adjust in time. Those are little things that I'm noticing. When you play a video game, you're probably not going, oh, I can see geometry there, or I can see this, or I can see that, or something like this they would probably notice. So I mean, you want to make sure all your normals are flipped right. I can see on my sync text, or not sync texture, but on my sync, my 3D model, that some of my normals are not flipped right. But this is what it's looking like. I mean, it's looking it's looking pretty nice. I mean, it's coming together, guys. It really is. Um, I just feel like Unity's kind of went downhill. Like I remember being able to get the better photorealism in here, but you know, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so a few things I do want to show inside of this video here is we are going to create the specular map for this cabinetry here. So go to house, we're going to go to material. I actually already have a specular map for it already made, which is right here. This is my specular map right here. But I'll show you how to do that. So anyway, most likely if you're when you're watching this video, you haven't put it in Unity yet, or maybe you have, maybe you jumped a little bit further ahead of me. That's fine too. That's cool, man. I mean, everybody likes to kind of learn at their own pace and stuff like that, and people like to jump ahead and stuff. This is what our backsplash currently looks like. So anyway, when you start doing this, create your own file. Create I named mine the house. Created a new file. I imported this as an FBX. One thing you want to do, all the materials that you need for the house, or the materials that you've already been using for your house, save them into a separate file. And what you want to do is when you save them into a separate file, go to import new asset. And you can see we pulled up this big old thing here. So say if I went to my desktop here, I went to my materials, and say all these materials here were what I wanted to pull in. I would just left click and highlight all of them. And then once you see it all down at the bottom, it selected all those, and I would hit import, and it would import all those textures into here. Then, of course, what you need to do after that, right click. I think I said right click on the last one. So basically, be right click, new import new assets, and then go to your folder and highlight them all. Then you'll need to you'll need to create a new material, and then basically you'll get little things like this here. And you can add your albedo, your metallic smoothness, normal map, height map, occlusion, detail mask. I'm pretty sure you guys can read. I'm not going to read them all. Of course, not like it really matters. I've kind of almost read all of them anyway. One of the things we definitely want to look at is for our cabinet here. Make sure we switch from standard. We want to go to standard roughness setup. And you'll have this roughness right here. And that's where our specular map's going to get put into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my documents here. Go into documents. Mine's called the house. We're going to load up assets. We're going to go to the house. We're going to go into materials. And what we want to do is cabinet grain wood. We're going to go ahead and grab that. It's going to load up GIMP here or Photoshop. I've been using GIMP because I don't really want to pay for Photoshop, and I can use this for free. Anyway, once you get your actual image in, go to image, go to mode, go to grayscale. And what you want to do is take your colors here, go to levels, and just start adjusting. Now, when you're making the specular map, white will reflect light and black will reflect no light. So everywhere on here where you see black is not going to reflect any type of light. So let's go ahead and just kind of bring it up a little bit. There we go. Let's just do something like that. We'll hit OK. File, export as. Don't go to save as, export as. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to save it over this cabinet wood grain specular, and I'm going to hit export. It's going to ask me, do I want to replace? Yes, I'll replace it. It's going to ask me the quality. I'm going to go ahead and go to, not 58, go to 100. Hit export, and I'm going to hit exit. Now when I do, it's going to ask you, there is one image with unsaved changes, and you want to discard those changes. You don't want to make any changes to the original image. And you can see right here, by loading it up through the documents, it already added it in for us. It already changed it. Now what we want to do is go into the cabinet here, drag and drop it in. Same thing with all these, just drag and drop it in on the roughness. And the same thing with here, drag and drop it in. And basically what's going on is it's telling Unity where light should be reflecting at. So it's going to help kind of give you that more photorealism. You can't really see it now, but I tell you what, if you don't have it and you start walking around, if you're familiar with specular maps, you're going to see a difference. If you're not, you're probably like, well, I don't see no difference, but it's something to play around with. Like if you get outside of, let me go ahead and delete this cube here. Let's go ahead and add a directional light in here. Let's see, light, directional light. Go ahead and let the baking down here. I like how it said it was going to take 46 seconds. It just loaded right up. So now if we come into here, God, you can see our bloom is really, our bloom is hella crazy right now. It's something I could probably go in and adjust it a little bit. Of course, when I adjust it, when I go and I seal the house off again, I will need to readjust bloom. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't. If you already have bloom or whatever already in, I really would not worry about making these adjustments at this moment. I'm going to see. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and was it on the y-axis? Let's kind of watch our sky right here. Adjust that here. It should. Okay. Nope. Nope. Not that one. There we go. So now it's got to kind of dark, let it do its bacon and stuff like that. It does say ETA, so it is an estimated time. So even though it says 15, doesn't mean it's actually going to take 15 seconds. Let's go ahead and go back in our camera now. Let's adjust our bloom again here. Take our soft knee here, just adjust the soft knee up a little bit. Pull the intensity down a little bit. Drag our soft knee up just a little bit more. Radius I had at 4.5. Basically, the bloom is kind of bringing in the volumetric lighting a little bit. Oh, pretty. So anyway, this is kind of what we have so far. Just kind of playing with lighting a little bit, showing you. Now, if you look right here, you can see how it's kind of. Let's see if I can lower the FPS down a little bit. So I'm at 3.5 right now. Let's lower them down to like 2.4. See where 2.4 gets us here. 2.4 looks like it was almost right on the money. And if you look right here, if you look, you can see how it's actually bloom is not just affecting where the point lights are. Bloom is also reflecting where light is reflecting off of materials also. So you can see right here as we move along, you can see how the light's reflecting off of our cabinet due to our specular map, and it's also adding a little bit of bloom onto that as well. Oh, it's like so. Looks actually a little funny right there. I wonder why it looks like that. Those don't look like that. So why does... Oh, there it goes. No? Maybe they're done right. Maybe it's just the way it looks. I mean, my eyes could be deceiving me a little bit. Yeah, it is just the way it looks. It is actually 3D modeled right. It's just so symmetrical that it just kind of... I don't know. It looks different to me. Like, it doesn't look like there's actual edges in there and stuff. But... anyway, this is pretty much what it looks like. Let me double check the. Well, let me go ahead and put this back at 3.5. Go into the house, go into materials. Let's look for our sink here, and our sink actually needs to go all the way up on. Probably not both of them. Let's see what it looks like with all the smoothness completely up there. Looks a little better with the smoothness all the way up. It's gonna, with that smoothness all the way up, it's gonna kind of reflect a little bit. Let's kind of up that. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit here. Let's see if it will make the changes here. So if I, okay, so it is. So yeah, about like that. It looks pretty good. See what happens when we start playing with this here. Cut out, fade. You can see right here, you can see our piping and stuff like that. So if we would open up the cabinetry or whatever, this is what I was talking about. Like if you don't have the faces flipped, which don't flip the faces on the sink, by the way. I'm not saying the faces are wrong. The faces are proper because we're looking from the other side. So you got transparent, just kind of playing around, showing you guys what that looked like. Opaque is really what we want. We want it to be a solid solid shade. You can also see right here also, as we move up the cabinet grain right here, you can see it really reflecting that cabinet grain there too. So you got that. So anyway, just a short video on how to do some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and bring our directional light back in here. Go ahead and bake everything here. It says 1 minute 40, but you can see it's moving really quick. 42 seconds left, and it's already in. So this is kind of what it would look like if we had. Now it is really big. So I do want to try one thing real quick before I end this video. I just wanted to show you guys kind of where we're standing at here when it comes to this. There we go. Make sure you pull it up and out a little bit. Let's go ahead and let's add in we're going to try to simulate a wall real quick. So we'll add our cube in, let's drag it over here. What was it, the y-axis? I don't know why I called it the axis 4. So it looks like it's a little bit much. Let's go 7. Okay, half of it wasn't good. So I bet, what, 13? No, 13 is a little bit too big. Go 10. 10 looks like it'd be all right. So pull it up, pull it over. This on the Z here. Like I said, my mouse is being stupid. I think my sensor and my mouse is kind of jacked up. Let's go ahead and pull this over. So put that there. Control D. Make sure it's highlighted in blue. Control D. Duplicate it. Let's just kind of bring it over. Control D. And we'll bring it over once again. We need to scale it in the y-axis. Scale it in the z-axis here. I don't know why I keep calling it the axis, like I'm going to access it, not axis like it should be. Let's make sure it's highlighted. Control D, drag it up. And this is just so we can see what it's going to do. Okay, so let me make sure on this directional light. One of the things that could be messing it up is I probably have no shadows. So yeah, right here, no shadows. So let's go ahead and go into soft shadows here. And let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens here. Still seems a little bit much for daylight. Probably make a big difference if I didn't have all these lights on. So let's see what you'll have to put like a script in, like if you want if you're gonna have like a day-night cycle, which I won't. Like for the little game that I'll be creating, I'm not gonna have a daylight cycle in this. So let me go ahead and just turn all that off, see what happens here. Okay, we still have quite a bit. You can see where light's actually coming straight down. I don't know why it's exactly doing that, but it needs to stop it. Control D, make sure it's highlighted over here. Oh, wait, make sure I'm grabbing the right thing here. I guess I am. Control D, drag it over. And on the x-axis, we'll go ahead and scale it out. And then again on the Y, oh no, not the Y. Drag that in, we'll scale it on the Z right there. There we go. Now it should kind of keep it from doing that little bit there. It looks like we still have some of the light kind of coming through a little bit. That's probably why right there. If you look over here, you can see that one of our faces are not flipped. So that definitely kind of sucks. Like I said, this is one of the reasons why we did bring it into Unity, was to find out what was right, what was wrong. So clearly we can see that we definitely have some faces that are going to need to be flipped. It's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and hit play on this. See what. So it's not looking not looking too bad. Of course, being daylight, we wouldn't have these lights on, and this isn't a finished. We ain't finished with this yet. We're just kind of seeing what it looks like inside of Unity and seeing where we need to go from there. So far, our floor texturing looks really nice. The countertops don't look too bad. And then the backsplash I have an issue with, but it's something I'll work on. I'm trying to fix. The cabinetry don't look too bad, except for up here. Well, definitely need to be fixed. I don't know why it did that. Sometimes UV unwrapping doesn't work the best in Blender, like when you're going from Blender to Unity. So sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit. But I mean, this is pretty much what it looks like. After you guys import your house as an FBX, you can see right here we have a base cabinet. If we want to, we would come here and say we're going to make adjustments to the house. You want to go to Documents. Mine's called the House. Go to the Assets. We're going to go into the House folder inside of Unity, and we're going to load up base cabinet. And when we do that, you can see it loads up Blender. And then it's right where it's basically showing you the image, or not the image, but it's taking you to what you were 3D modeling and stuff. So I'm gonna just let this kind of load up. I mean, you can kind of see what we're striving for. This is what we're striving for. Unity might not give us the ability to be able to actually be able to create this exact replica. I mean, I'm assuming you could. There might be some shaders I need to go find. But other than that, I mean, it just it's really hard to get it just. It's hard to get it exactly right, like from like Blender to Unity. Sometimes Unity, I mean, it doesn't really want to render the way Blender is. I mean, this is a really powerful 3D modeler, and it can really make your stuff look great if you want to just display like your skills and stuff like that. And sometimes you just need somebody who knows that, has a little bit extra expertise on how to get better photorealism and stuff like that, how to work lighting and everything. I mean, that's really what we're striving for photorealism. You're basically going from, you need good modeling. Oh, it's good modeling, good texturing, and then good lighting. And with all that combined, will give you a nice, beautiful, scenery. I guess you could say. I don't know. Some of you probably watching this, you might be using the Unreal Engine. I'm not totally for sure how the importing works with the Unreal. I have not played with the Unreal game engine. It is something that I do have on my bucket list that I will attempt to play with. But anyway, let me go ahead and unrender that. I don't want anything messing my stuff up. But I mean, nevertheless, I mean, it still don't look that bad. Going from Blender to Unity. I mean, this is kind of a little bit low resolution, but I mean, it's just all stuff you guys will have to play with. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. I mean, if you guys liked it, please press the like button. Honestly, please, I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe too. I mean, subscribing. I mean, if you're into 3D modeling or importing stuff from Blender into Unity, I would recommend subscribing, because I am going to show quite a bit of that kind of stuff on this channel. Just how to make certain things in Blender and get it into Unity and make it look right and make it work properly. In one of the other videos, I'm going to show you this real quick too. I was talking about the pivot point and keeping the pivot point to the corner of keeping it to the corner there. Okay, what in the world? Let me try. There we go, pivot. So anyway, and one of the other ones, I put the pivot point over to the side, and this is why. And right now it's on center. And if we would make a script to open this, it would open in a really weird way, and we're just like, well, what the fuck is that? You need to come up here, change it from center, change it to pivot, and then you could open your doors and stuff like that inside of Unity with a script based, or I guess you could do it with animations if you want. And you see, I got our little piping and stuff like that. And don't worry actually so much about the back of the cabinet. If you actually go in your own house and you look like if you look at the bottom, like go to like your bottom cabinetry and you open your doors, you'll probably notice that there really isn't a back to your cabinet. So if you are seeing this, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. You'd be amazed how many houses actually have the back of the cabinet actually opened up. I think this was at 90. There we go. Put it back at 90. I want to make sure it's back to where it should be. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that too. So, hey guys, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this content, I mean, just make sure you subscribe so you can see the new stuff. I'm trying to get more into making sure I'm getting a video up every day, or at least 3 or 4 videos. Like if I'm not going to record for a few days, I'll try to get like a couple videos in one day. But other than that, I try to get at least one video for you guys a day on how to do this stuff. The next video we'll probably be looking at I'll actually